energetic sovereignty, sacred boundaries and relational prosperity, quantum, opening your mind, your breath, and your subtle field form, the living laboratory where reality learns to take shape. Your boundaries are the instruments, your values are the codes, and your love is the current that harmonizes the entire experiment. Section 1. Deep View. The soul's cartography of boundaries. Energetic sovereignty rises as the art of consenting to essence and declining distortion. It honors the truth that your life force is finite in any given day, while your soul remains eternal in its source. Sovereignty does not harden the heart. It clarifies its channels. It is a luminous membrane, like a golden auric tide that knows when to receive and when to let pass. Imagine your inner world as a sacred harbor. Boats arrive with invitations, stories, emotions, and opportunities. Some vessels carry music and nourishment. Some carry noise and unprocessed storms. A sovereign harbor contains lighthouses, tide charts, and guardians with kind eyes. Entry aligns with the weather of your values and the navigation charts of your purpose. Archetypally, the sovereign meets four allies within the guardian who says a clean no and protects gates without hostility. The healer who welcomes what is ready to be embraced and metabolized. The sage who reads patterns across lifetimes and chooses with clarity. The lover who keeps the heart warm, creative, and generous. When these allies collaborate, relationships shift from extraction to exchange, from performance to presence, from survival to symphony. Prosperity in love, friendship, family, and collaboration emerges as a coherent field. This field is not naive, it is precise. It honors the mathematics of energy. What is given returns in transformed form when offered from alignment. The journey of the soul then becomes a navigation of agreements. You sign fewer contracts with fear and more with truth. You respond less from urgency and more from rhythm. You cease to over-explain choices. You embody choices. Every yes calls a timeline. Every no collapses detours. Every maybe breathes until the signal is clear. Section 2. Scientific and psychological foundations. Humanistic psychology centers authenticity, values, and self-actualization. When authenticity is present, boundaries become congruent expressions rather than defensive postures. Carl Rogers described unconditional positive regard as a climate where the person grows. Sovereign boundaries nurture this climate because they remove the relational fog that suffocates trust. Clarity is a nutrient. Transpersonal psychology includes states and stages of consciousness. Boundaries are developmental competencies that evolve with awareness. Early survival boundaries revolve around safety. Later, creative boundaries revolve around meaning. At wider stages, service boundaries revolve around mission. The same no that once protected survival later protects devotion. Interpersonal neurobiology observes that consistent safety cues regulate the nervous system. A body that learns to deliver a clear no and receive a gracious yes establishes predictability. Predictability breeds co-regulation. Co-regulation fosters creativity. Creativity invites prosperity. Boundaries are not merely interpersonal rules. They are neurophysiological rituals that sculpt your synapses. Polyvagal principles illuminate how felt safety determines social engagement or withdrawal. Boundary repair retrains your vagal tone. Breathing, humming, gentle toning, and embodied consent signals coach your autonomic nervous system towards safety and connection. Memory reconsolidation shows that emotionally salient learning can be updated. When you vividly re-evoke a boundary rupture memory while introducing contradictory, empowering experience, the brain can rewrite the learning. This matters because people-pleasing, fawning, or overgiving patterns are often encoded as safety strategies. NLP reminds that the map is not the territory. Boundary confusion arises when old maps insist that love equals self-abandonment or conflict equals danger. Remapping turns love into consent plus care and conflict into information plus repair. Language patterns become the steering wheel of state. Pronouns, tenses, and frames either leak energy or direct it. A sovereign sentence chooses its verbs wisely. Practical examples. The colleague who requests urgent favors every week receives a new rhythm agreement that respects your delivery windows. The family member who shames your spiritual path meets your calm, simple statement of values and the limit that preserves mutual respect. The collaborator who wants discount after discount meets the pricing and scope container that keeps the art sustainable. Psychology offers the structure. Spirit provides the breath. Together they build a sanctuary where intimacy and prosperity reinforce each other rather than compete. Section 3. Biodecoding applied. When the body speaks boundaries. The body often reflects boundary stories through symbolic symptoms. This is not a substitute for medical care. It is a complementary lens for emotional meaning and ritual release. Throat and voice suppressed. No or diluted yes can manifest as tension, hoarseness, or recurring sore throats in sensitive phases. The remedy lives in voice clarity, resonance practices, and the courage to speak early rather than late. Skin and edges, rashes, or irritation may reflect inflamed borders. Skin is the literal interface with the world. Energetic porosity sometimes shows on this canvas. Soothing boundaries, hydration, and calming environments support both dermal and emotional membranes. Digestive fire. Indigestion can symbolize the difficulty of metabolizing others' expectations. Bitterness sometimes points to undigested resentment. Digestive ease grows when you align intake with actual capacity and reframe guilt into responsibility. Lower back and support. Strain may correlate with chronic overcarrying. The body signals that structures and agreements must share the load. Prosperity flows where support systems are designed, not assumed. Heart rhythm. Flutters can accompany intense relational pacing. Slowing the tempo of agreements and restoring coherent breathing patterns re-entrains a steady relational beat. Path of release in 4 movements. 1. Acknowledge the emotional truth that rides inside the symptom. 2. Feel the texture of it in the body without story inflation. 3. Reframe the meaning into a choice aligned with values. 4. Ritualize the new boundary with a concrete action and a somatic anchor. When the body recognizes that your words now protect it, symptoms often soften. The organism trusts action more than promise. Section 4. Quantum NLP Tools. Step-by-step practices. 4.1. Boundary inventory. Audit. Create 4 lists, non-negotiables that preserve health, values, and mission negotiables with clear ranges for time, money, and emotional labor. Desired exchanges that feel mutually enriching. Leaks where energy leaves without return or meaning. Read each item aloud. If your breath shortens on a line, upgrade clarity. If your chest expands, keep it. 4.2. Sovereign breath and vagal tone. Anchor. Inhale through the nose for 4. Hold gently for 2. Exhale through the mouth for 6 with a soft hum. Rest for 2 and notice the warmth around the heart. Repeat for 3 to 5 minutes while visualizing a golden ring around your rib cage that expands and contracts smoothly. The hum becomes your on-demand parasympathetic key. Later, pair this breath with any boundary conversation. 4.3. Clean no, aligned yes, negotiated maybe. Clean no, short, kind, complete. No apology spiral. 1 sentence of context if needed. 1 sentence of appreciation. 1 sentence of closure. Example language. I will not be available for that request. I appreciate your understanding. Wishing you success with it. Aligned yes. Enthusiastic and clear in scope. I am in for this collaboration within these parameters and timelines. Negotiated. Maybe time-bound evaluation plus data request. I can revisit on Friday after receiving the updated brief and resource plan. These patterns train the nervous system to trust your mouth. Your mouth then becomes the one that shapes your calendar. 4.4 Parts alignment dialogue. Invite the protector, child, sage, and ambassador to a round table in imagination. Offer each one minute to state needs in simple phrases. Conclude with a single aligned boundary sentence that includes protection, nourishment, wisdom, and relational grace. Speak it out loud 3 times with the sovereign breath. 4.5 Timeline. Re-imprinting. Identify an early memory of self-abandonment. Float above the scene as a compassionate witness. Introduce your present self as a guardian who brings voice and choice. Change the posture in memory from collapse to uprightness, the gaze from darting to steady, and the sentence from apology to clarity. Imagine that the younger self now learns a new visceral pattern. Walk the memory forward through 3 later scenes where the new pattern expresses cleanly. 4.6 Golden Egg Field Hygiene. Visualize a semi-permeable golden egg around your body, about half a meter out. This membrane breathes. It lets love, truth, and beauty pass. It filters manipulation and shame. With each exhale, any foreign cords dissolve into neutral light and return to source to be recycled. With each inhale, you receive fresh prana for your mission. 4.7 Contract Upgrade, Ritual for Money and Time. Write current agreements that feel heavy. Circle verbs that cost the most life energy. Replace those verbs with new ones that match your soul season. Transform phrases like always available into available by appointment or friends discount into mission-aligned pricing. Sign the new agreements with your full name, the date, and a short devotion to the highest good. File them where you will see them daily. 4.8 Micro Boundaries for Daily Prosperity. Morning Triage. 1. Deep creative task first, communication second. Midday reset. 2 minutes of humming to restore tone before any yes or no evening review. 1 sentence per relationship that prospered through clarity today. Consistency beats intensity. Small, clean choices open large, luminous gates. Section 5. Spiritual Perspective and Christ Consciousness. Christ Consciousness holds the paradox of immaculate love and unshakable clarity. The temple of the heart remains open for the poor in spirit and closed to the merchants of guilt. Compassion rescues without enabling. Mercy heals without leaking. Love becomes a boundary that liberates the other from your compliance and frees you from false obligation. Buddhist emptiness whispers that form is fluid and self is a process. Boundaries then reveal themselves as compassionate forms that arise to reduce suffering. They are not prisons, they are bridges. When the wave knows itself as ocean, it meets other waves with dignity and flow. This insight dissolves ego drama while preserving ethical precision. From a multidimensional view, every yes you speak signals to unseen allies that you are available for that timeline. Every no cancels permissions for entities and patterns that feed on confusion. This is spiritual hygiene, not spiritual warfare. You choose resonance over resistance, invitation over compulsion. The cosmos respects clear signals. Christic love saturates sovereignty with tenderness. The voice remains firm without sharpness. The eyes remain warm without collapse. Hands remain generous without trespass. Prosperity then emerges as a byproduct of alignment, not a prize to chase. Money becomes a current that mirrors coherence. Relationships become temples where consent and devotion light the same flame. Section 6. Integrative Ritual. The Covenant of Clearwater's Purpose. Seal energetic sovereignty, bless sacred boundaries, and invite relational prosperity that honors your mission. Materials: a bowl of water with a pinch of sea salt, 1 white candle, 2 sheets of paper and a pen, a small stone or crystal you associate with clarity, a drop of your favorite natural essence or oil. Steps 1. Prepare the space. Light the candle. Place the bowl to its right, the stone to its left, and the papers before you. Breathe with the sovereign pattern for 1 minute. 2. Name the field. Place your left hand on the heart and right hand over the navel. Declare, I consecrate this space to clarity, compassion, and devoted service. 3. Release list. On the first paper, write patterns, obligations, and cords that drain you. Keep language factual and brief. Fold the paper outward, as if sending it away. Hold it over the bowl. Touch the water with your fingertips, and let droplets fall over the folded page. Whisper, I release these contracts to source for gentle dissolution. 4. Covenant list. On the second paper, write 3 non-negotiables. 3 negotiables with ranges and 3 desired exchanges. Add 1 sentence of devotion that aligns money and time with mission. Fold this page inward, as if drawing it into your center. 5. Seal with breath and tone. Place the stone atop the covenant page. Exhale with a steady hum for 3 cycles, feeling your ribcage ring expand and the golden egg grow bright. Anoint the stone with a tiny drop of essence. 6. Water anointment. Dip your fingers into the salted water and trace a gentle circle clockwise around your heart, throat, and belly. Speak slowly. My heart gives from alignment. My voice guards the sacred. My center organizes prosperity. 7. Commitment action. Choose 1 boundary action you will implement within 24 hours. Write it in large letters on the covenant page. Place the page under the candle holder until the candle safely completes its burn. Keep the stone in your pocket for 7 days as a tactile anchor. 8. Close. Thank the elements and your allies. Pour the water on the roots of a living plant or onto the earth. Store the covenant page where you see it each morning for 9 days. High vibration closing master. Aphorism, clarity in the heart, converts time into treasure and relationship into temple quantum challenge for the next 24 hours. Deliver one clean no and one aligned. Yes in writing or voice with the sovereign breath before speaking. Move one agreement from vague to precise. Log the felt sense, shift in one sentence at day's end. Activation code, whisper or hum 3 times, palms over heart and navel. Re el om, re el om, re el om. Allow the vibration to bathe the auric membrane in gold. Con amor, infinito, Andrew el activador cuántico.